Imagine the shockwaves through the automotive industry when the CEO of a world-renowned corporation personally steps before the press and announces that their most secretive and widely discussed engine actually exists. That is exactly what has now happened. The head of Mercedes has publicly confirmed that the so-called YASA Flux motor is a reality. Until now, there were only rumors and confidential speculation. It is now said that this unit is so powerful and built on a completely new technology that brands like Tesla, BYD, or Toyota could face a significant challenge. Should this motor be installed in series production vehicles, it could change the entire landscape surrounding petrol, diesel, and even today's electric batteries. The real question is what makes this motor so special. Is it truly the turning point the auto industry has been waiting for, or will it ultimately remain just another high-tech promise? If it does deliver, could Tesla's dominance in the electric vehicle sector begin to waver? When a major manufacturer introduces such a groundbreaking technology, it is not just luck. It is the result of years of research, strategic planning, and countless hours of work. That is exactly the case with the YASA motor from Mercedes. While many believe the news appeared suddenly, the company secretly worked on this project for many years, without major media announcements or loud promises, progressing step by step in the background. This was Mercedes's real master plan. Between 2010 and 2015, a wave of electromobility swept across the world. Tesla proved with its models that electric vehicles were not just the future, but already the present. It was during this phase that the strategists at Mercedes recognized they could not rely solely on batteries. To remain relevant in the coming decades, they had to redefine motor technology themselves. This is where a small but visionary company from the UK, YASA, came into play. This firm was already researching the so-called axial flux motor, and showed with initial prototypes that this design could change the future. Mercedes saw the opportunity, and began to support YASA step by step. In 2019, Mercedes finally took over the company completely. Officially, it seemed like a normal business deal, but in truth, this was the crucial building block for the YASA Flux motor. With full financial support and intensive research, hundreds of engineers transformed this vision into a tangible reality over 5 to 10 years. Millions of euros flowed into the project, yet everything remained so strictly secret that even industry insiders had no idea what Mercedes was truly planning. Outsiders merely thought the brand was continuing to invest in luxury electric vehicles, but behind the scenes, a drive system was being created that could turn the entire industry on its head. Another central point of this strategy was timing. Mercedes never brought this technology to market prematurely. They knew that if an unfinished product appeared, competitors would not miss an opportunity to criticize it. Therefore, Mercedes tested the motor for thousands of hours in simulations and under real conditions before they were sure the moment had come. This approach proves that Mercedes has been closely observing how others operate and has learned from it. While some manufacturers make a spectacle, Mercedes remains silent in order to play their trump card at the decisive moment. Their motto is to talk less and deliver more. But what is this YASA Flux motor? Whenever we think about cars, the motor immediately appears in our mind's eye as the heart of the vehicle. In the past, petrol and diesel engines dominated. Later, electric drives conquered the roads. Now the YASA Flux motor is causing a worldwide stir. Simply explained, YASA is a British company that specialized in this technology before Mercedes acquired it. Flux refers to magnetic flux, making it clear that this motor is based on a clever interaction of electricity and magnetic fields. Conventional electric motors such as permanent magnet or induction motors are usually large, heavy, and require a lot of space. The YASA Flux motor, on the other hand, follows a completely new principle. The true fascination of the YASA Flux motor lies in the fact that it is small, light, and yet extremely powerful. Its construction is based on the axial flux principle. While conventional motors rotate like a cylinder, this motor spins like a flat disc. Instead of a thick block, it acts more like a thin round plate. The advantage is obvious. It requires less space, weighs significantly less, and yet delivers impressive performance. That is precisely why Mercedes presents it as one of their strongest drives. Another key point is torque. Simply explained, torque is the force that creates movement. The YASA drive offers exceptionally high torque, which means vehicles feel enormous acceleration immediately. While classic motors need to get going first, this motor delivers its full power instantly. The result is that a car reaches high speeds in a fraction of a second. In terms of efficiency, It also sets new standards. Conventional electric motors heat up significantly, thereby wasting energy and losing range. The YASA Flux motor, on the other hand, minimizes heat losses through its special design. This means less battery power is wasted and range increases. While a normal electric car might give about 400 kilometers of range, the same vehicle with a flux motor could easily manage between 500 and 550 kilometers without a larger battery. Even more exciting is that this motor, despite its compact size, also fits into larger vehicles. Whether we're talking about small cars, SUVs, or sports cars, it can be used flexibly. Classic electric motors are often so bulky and heavy that they are difficult to integrate everywhere, but this new technology, well, it really opens up completely new possibilities. A lighter car means less strain on the battery, which can then be smaller and cheaper, ultimately lowering the vehicle price. At the same time, the driving experience becomes more dynamic and smooth, you know? This brings us to the challenges in manufacturing. The flux motor is not only new but also significantly more difficult to produce. While classic motors have been built for decades, the axial flux construction requires extremely precise coils and magnets. Connecting and balancing these components cleanly is honestly pretty complex. Mercedes has the technology, but to equip hundreds of thousands of vehicles, they must greatly expand their production capacities. Added to this is the dependence on raw materials. For flux motors, rare earths like neodymium magnets are needed, the supply of which is very limited, mainly from China and a few other countries. If demand rises, a shortage could threaten. Mercedes will therefore have to find new suppliers and make greater use of recycling. The decisive question is when and how the YASA Flux motor will be seen on the roads. Mercedes is currently preparing to use it in luxury sports cars and high-performance models. The AMG series in particular could benefit from the technology. In SUVs, the advantage will be noticeable. Despite their high weight, they would get more torque and power, making the driving experience more intense. In sports cars, the flux motor opens up the possibility to compete with the fastest models available. Even for trucks and buses, it could change the market because heavy vehicles in particular need more power and range, which this motor delivers despite its compact construction. However, the impact of the YASA Flux motor extends far beyond mere performance metrics. Its compact nature could fundamentally alter vehicle design philosophy. Without the need for a large central motor block, engineers gain unprecedented freedom. They could place smaller motors directly at each wheel, creating advanced torque vectoring systems for superior handling and stability. This opens the door to entirely new vehicle platforms with flatter floors, more spacious interiors, and even revolutionary body shapes that were previously impossible with conventional powertrains. Furthermore, the efficiency gains present a compelling economic argument. For consumers, increased range directly addresses one of the most significant concerns with electric vehicle adoption: range anxiety. For manufacturers, achieving greater range with a smaller, lighter battery pack could dramatically reduce production costs, the single largest expense in an electric vehicle. This cost saving could potentially be passed on to customers, making electric vehicles more accessible to a broader market and accelerating the transition away from fossil fuels. The potential applications also stretch into commercial and industrial sectors. The high torque and compact size make the flux motor ideal for heavy-duty trucks, buses, and construction equipment, where space is at a premium and power demands are extreme. In aviation, particularly in the emerging field of electric vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL aircraft, the power-to-weight ratio of this technology could be a critical enabler. Nevertheless, Mercedes' success is not guaranteed. The challenges of mass production and securing a sustainable supply chain for rare earth materials are honestly formidable hurdles. Competing manufacturers are not standing still. Tesla, for instance, is continually refining its own motor designs, and other companies are investing heavily in alternative technologies like solid-state batteries, which could offer their own, revolutionary benefits. The true test will be in the execution. Can Mercedes scale production to meet demand while maintaining quality and reliability? Can they integrate this motor into vehicles that are not only high-performing but also affordable and desirable to the mass market? The announcement of the YASA Flux motor is not the finish line. It is the starting gun for the next phase of innovation in the automotive industry. The coming years will reveal whether this technology becomes the new standard or remains a high-performance niche product. The race to define the future of mobility has just intensified. Looking towards the year 2030, the flux motor could become the standard of the electric industry, just as practically every car today runs with lithium-ion batteries. In a few years, almost every model could be equipped with axial flux technology. Do you believe that this motor will actually change the future of electric cars? Or will it ultimately be just another technology that disappears after a few years? Be sure to write your opinion in the comments. Thank you very much for watching until the end of the video.